how important that last 20 minutes was for both teams on different ends of the scale. So for Ireland, you're looking at that last 20 minutes where lack of game time, the intensity from them dropped massively. And on the other scale, you're looking at All Blacks and their intensity lifted. The bench came on and brought a massive impact to the game. And that's where the game was won or lost. There was also something that the All Blacks struggled with in the past couple of games, the past few years, really is playing a full 80 minutes or struggling in that last 20. And they came on, the bench came on and made a massive impact. And I feel like the intensity for the All Blacks lifted, where on the other end, Ireland's intensity dropped massively in the last 20 minutes. And that's where I feel like this game was won and lost. Before we get into it, what's up, guys? Dane here, host of Kick On Rugby channel. As you can see, I'm not in my usual studio. We're on holiday. I'm up the coast, Yamba, New South Wales, but I'm still getting food or content out to you guys because we've got to keep the content rolling, regardless of where we are. I've got a nice tan going, but we've got to get the content rolling out. A big result for the All Blacks. The Grand Slam Tour is on. A huge result for the All Blacks. A result for Ireland that a lot of people saw coming. It's the first game of your season or international season. A lot of people were saying that Ireland's going to come into this game undercooked, not enough game time together. And it kind of played out that way because they started the game high intensity, really good until that 60th minute mark, until All Blacks gained the lead for the first time in this game at that 62-minute mark. And then it kind of just fizzled out for Ireland. Something that wasn't expected, but there's still lots of positives there. There's lots of positives for the All Blacks as well. And then there's negatives for both sides as well, or work-ons, put it like that. As always, guys, let me know in the comments, what did you guys think of the game? What did you think of the outcome? Did you see this one playing out how it did? What were your guys' thoughts? Let me know in the comments. Let me know who's your man of the match. Hit that subscribe as well, because we do have the goal, 10K by the end of the year. Let's do it. Share it with your mates. Get involved in the conversation. We'll get straight into it. So we'll start on Ireland first. Look, do we just start talk about that the Beirne yellow card that turned into a red card? A soft yellow card to start off with, that then goes to a red card. Beauden Barrett doesn't even leave the field for an HIA. Tadgh Beirne was standing like this. It was almost like he was trying not to get hit. He wasn't expecting Beauden Barrett to run the short ball there. And he just, that and shoulder hit Beauden Barrett's head, gets a yellow card. There was a mess up on grounds. They couldn't get the replay shown on the big screen. Ref had to run to the sideline to check it out. Yellow card, which I thought was soft to begin with. And then that got upgraded to a red. Now look, Ireland did really well in this quarter, this 20 minutes, because they ended up scoring a try. And yes, it was only 20 minutes. Then someone could come on. But Tadgh Beirne is one of the best players for Ireland at the moment. And how this changed the game in regards to Andy Farrell had to change when he was going to make substitutes. It just throws everything out of the whole spanner into the works. That was not a red card. That was not even a yellow card for me. There was no intent. When does intent come into the game? When it comes to things like this. Because you saw later on in the game, I think it was it Fainganuku or Caleb Clark that run through and absolutely carved someone with a stiff arm. I'm not standing up for Irish players here at all. And yes, there was mitigation in that. I think Tommy O'Brien was dropping. There's mitigation there, right? But surely intent has to come in. Tadgh Beirne is so passive there. He was, you're not supposed to get the ball and you got the ball here. And I don't want to get too much into it. I've already done that already. But geez, guys, that was a bit much, I thought. And it kind of, yes, while it didn't fully change the game, it definitely did with regards to then substitutes that had to be made for Andy Farrell and just having one of your best players in the team not in the game anymore. I will say there was disruptions for the All Blacks as well with injuries, but that was my bit on there. And it was very stop-start to start off with. Injuries, the yellow cards as well. Not much flow in the game. There was knock-ons, penalties, like I said, stop-start. But when the intensity picked up, when they started going, holy, Ireland, when they get a roll on for that first try, they get the roll on. They're going forward. They got the players running at the line. Jamison Gibson Parker's got quick ball. The ruck speed is just turning over. He's there. He's got 3 or 4 options running at him. And it's hard. It's hard to stop, man. The box kick first. James Lowe regathers. They're patient from there. They play their options. They get a penalty from that. They show the intent to go for touch, not to go to poles. They show that they've got the momentum here. All Blacks are on the back foot. Let's play into that. And it worked out. It worked out fantastically. Furlong ends up scoring there. A man down and they go on to score. And it does show, while Ireland didn't get the result here, this shows that regardless of how long they have played together or how many games they had no games or prep leading up to this game. They were undercooked, but it just shows that there is ticker within this Irish squad. There's a bit of this about them. There's balls, there's ballas. These Afrikaans for balls. There's balls in that squad because they're a man down here and then led for most of that. It looked like that 20-minute red card didn't affect them that much. Kicking game was really good, either contestable kicks or kicking the ball out so that All Blacks couldn't play it quickly because that was definitely All Blacks' that's what they wanted to do. They wanted to get the ball in play and they wanted to play with it. They wanted to turn this Irish legs over because they knew they were coming into the game not match fit or hopefully not match fit, definitely not game fit because they haven't played games in a long time. And that's kind of what showed. So the All Blacks played kind of the long game in this game. They were working through it, knowing that that last 10, 20 minutes, that's when they're going to go for it. And that's when, technically, and just physically, Ireland were going to fall off to a point because they haven't played games. That's just, I won't say it's physics, it's just nature. You can't keep those high revs for that long if you haven't been doing those high revs for that long for a while. So, you know what I mean? I hope I'm making sense there, but it worked. That's how I see or saw the All Blacks playing this game. That's how they played it, and that's how it played out. I thought, Stuart McCloskey was really good for Ireland, strong with ball in hand, getting over that vantage line. He was really good first phase. Caelan Doris, when he came on, his first carry, holy, run, like 3 players just bounced off him. Love to see that. Line out was obviously a problem for Ireland. Tadgh Beirne going off, which is one of your best line out options. That probably answers that question. Probably credit to All Blacks as well, who put a lot of pressure on their line out. And then, like I said, as the game went on, the intensity for Ireland just dropped. They couldn't keep it up. They were not, while they could have been fit, they were not game fit or match fit because you couldn't have been. At that intensity, they haven't been playing. This is their first international game for the year where All Blacks are coming off, or for the season, sorry, where All Blacks are coming off a rugby championship. So, like I said, All Blacks played that well. They just hung into the game, hung into it, and they knew at that last 10, 20 that was them, and they're going to put the trigger down and put the nail in the coffin and take it to Ireland. Let's see or take them into deep waters, and let's see if you can stay afloat, or you can float with us, or you can swim. And All Blacks played that to a T, and it worked out well for them. But still, lots of positives for Ireland. Like I said, they've got ballas. They've got balls to see that they were down a man and during that time score points, control the game. It was just that last 10, 20 that they couldn't hang on. Jumping over to the All Blacks, used huge disruptions early on. Obviously, Scott Barrett going off the first 2 minutes. Then 10 minutes after that, Geordie Barrett went off a bad knock. But man, it just shows the resilience of the side and how important that bench was. And I'll get to that in a minute. When they scored Artie Severe's try, when they scored there, they needed to be the team to score there. Ireland had all of the momentum. After Furlong's try, you're thinking, okay, wow, this Irish side has got a bit about them, regardless of what was said before game. But when it was their time, they took it. Leicester, fine Ganuku, lovely little in and away, the goose step on Ringrose. Will Jordan hits a straight line like no one else. If anyone wants a straight line run, It's Will Jordan. You're going to give that little short ball. He busts through, makes the first initial line break, and then just patience here. And what I loved about this bit was the piggies. Drawn pass. All the piggies. Simon Parker knew he had Artie Savea outside. Give it to him. He scores in the corner. Love the initial break or the initial goose from Leicester Ganuku drawing a player in. Will Jordan hits it straight. That's the break that they get there. Patience, drawn pass, and they go out and score. They were trying to play up-tempo, play quick, and were getting isolated rucks turned over. Josh van der Fleer was really good there. I feel like him and Artie Savea were tit for tat with turnovers. I think Quinn Tupaia got a couple of turnovers as well. So it was good to see world-class players like Artie Savea and Josh van der Fleer go at each other there. And then I did think they struggled to gain momentum until that last 20 minutes, and I'll get to that. But up until then, struggled to gain momentum, didn't play rugby on the right areas of the field. And when they did, that's when they turned it on. They found their way down to the right areas of the field, backed themselves, didn't go for touch, backed themselves. Mighty Williams crashes over to score for pick and go, and Gordon Barrett converts then to take the lead. At the 62-minute mark. They were not leading this game until the 62-minute mark, right? And that shows what I said at the top of this video, how important this last 20 minutes was for both sides. How Ireland lost it in the last 20 minutes and how New Zealand won it in the last 20 minutes. Bang, bang, and see what happens when they're in the right areas of the field. Lovely weighted pass from Beauden Barrett. Damon McKenzie jumps through the line break and Satiti off his inside to go over to score. It was that Clark, the kick pressure from Clark on low. Wasn't able to clear the ball well. All Blacks get a line out there, and from there they work their way and score Satiti. That then gives All Blacks that 2-try or 2-score gap. And it just shows how important this All Blacks bench was and how they then put Ireland to the sword in that last 20 minutes. The All Blacks reserves front row put Ireland under a ton of pressure there. Paddy McCarthy was in all sorts on debut. Man, and then Roygard goes and puts the nail in the coffin right at the end. He was quiet all game, but shows up when is needed. And finally, the All Blacks show that they can stay in the fight for a full 80 minutes and how important their bench can be coming onto the game or coming into the game at different areas of the game as well. Mighty Williams scores the try for the All Blacks to take the lead. He was a bench player. Satiti scores a try for the All Blacks to go 2 scores ahead. He was a bench player as well. And you speak about the other guys, and this is throughout the game as well because they had early disruptions. Scott Barrett went off. Josh Lord came on. He did an absolute fantastic job there. Did his basics, nailed his basics well, was physical, strong throughout the game. Then Leicester Ganuku coming on early for Geordie Barrett as well. He was strong throughout the game, just nailed what he had to do. Strong ball carries, getting over that vantage line, good in that regard. They all brought energy. They all nailed their tasks. They all nailed their roles, and they brought that spark that the All Blacks needed in the latter ends of the game. It just shows the growth of this All Black squad throughout the years. There's been these 2 years now with Scott Barrett where a full 80 minutes has been a problem, or full 80-minute performance has been a problem for the All Blacks, and especially that last 20 minutes. This game showed that the All Blacks can play for a full 80 minutes, and that last 20 minutes, they can up it a couple gears. They can go from here to here to here. Their bench that can come on and impact the game. You've got guys like, it was a Tokiaho came on, fantastic. D-Mac was unreal. Leicester, like I said, Fainganuku was good. Josh Lord was fantastic. Then Tossie and Williams that came on, they were really good as well. Cortes Ratama only got a couple minutes real late. But you speak of those guys that all, like I said, all brought energy. I said in the preview as well how important the bench is going to be, that punch that they bring on. It's a exciting bench. There is punch there. They just needed to deliver, and they did in this game. And just showed how strong their bench can, how important their bench can be for this All Black side. Not just in that last 20, but with disruptions throughout the game. Lord coming on for Barrett early. Leicester coming on for Geordie Barrett early as well. And then the later guys, the All Blacks bomb squad, nuke squad to come on later, that just sealed the deal for the All Blacks. And to go from something that really struggled or a weakness in the All Blacks game, which is a full 80 minutes of rugby, and that last 20 minutes where they really underperform, the intensity drops, to then this game in Soldier Field where the last time they played, they lost. They turned their weakness into a strength where they had a full 80-minute performance, and that last 20 took the intensity to another level. What a great game for the All Blacks to kick off their Grand Slam tour. Ireland, there's positives there. The intensity is there. They show they've got balls, that they can play strong rugby even with a player down, but just need to be able to keep that intensity for the full 80. And it's to be expected. It was first game for the season. Ireland fans, All Blacks fans, what do you guys think of who was your man of the match? Did I miss anything here? What did you guys think of the game? Let me know in the comments. Hit that subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you next time. Bye.